All right, this is your deep dive lesson on social stratification. We're going to cut right to the chase and cover the core concepts you absolutely need to know to ace your exam. So let's just get straight into it. First things first, you absolutely have to know this definition cold. Social stratification isn't random, it's a system. It's how society ranks entire categories of people, not just you and me as individuals, into a hierarchy. And it does this based on stuff like wealth, power, and prestige. Now, for any analysis question, you're going to need these 4 core traits. 1, stratification is a feature of society itself. It's not just about individual talent or lack of it. 2, it's sticky. It tends to persist across generations. 3, while it's universal, every society has it, it looks different depending on where you are. And 4, and this is critical, it's not just the inequality that exists, but the shared beliefs that people have that actually justify it. So, if stratification is everywhere, it brings up this huge central puzzle that sociologists have been wrestling with for centuries. Why does this inequality even exist in the first place? This leads us to the 2 major competing theories you're going to be tested on. On one side, you have the functionalist view, which argues that inequality is actually necessary, that it serves a vital purpose to keep society running smoothly. And on the other side, you've got the conflict view, which argues the complete opposite, that inequality only exists because it helps a powerful group at the expense of everybody else. Let's dig into that functionalist argument. This view kind of sees society as this complex machine that has to motivate its best people to fill the most important jobs. And how does it do that? Well, with unequal rewards. By offering more money, more prestige for the tough jobs, inequality basically acts as the engine that drives the whole society forward. I mean, think about it, right? Why would anyone go through a decade of super intense, really expensive training to become a doctor? Well, the functionalist answer is simple. Society offers huge rewards, big paychecks, lots of social respect. That inequality in the outcome is what ensures the vital job gets done. But the conflict view comes in and paints a totally different picture. This idea, which is rooted in the work of Karl Marx, doesn't see a stable machine. It sees an arena, a battlefield of constant conflict between the haves and the have-nots. And from this perspective, our social institutions aren't neutral at all. They're actually designed by the powerful to keep their own advantages locked in. So from a conflict perspective, when a wealthy kid gets into a top university because of legacy admissions or access to fancy tutoring, that's not just a lucky break. That's the system working exactly how it was designed to, reinforcing those class divisions and passing that privilege down from one generation to the next. Okay, with those 2 big theories in our back pocket, let's see how they actually apply to a specific type of inequality, starting with disability. The old school way of thinking, the medical model, sees disability as a personal problem that needs to be fixed. But the social model, well, it offers a really powerful sociological insight. It flips the script and says society is the problem, not the person. For instance, a person who uses a wheelchair isn't disabled by their body. They're disabled by a building that was designed without a ramp. See the difference? A key term you have to know here is stigma. And this isn't just any old label. It's a powerfully negative one. It can fundamentally change how people see themselves and, just as importantly, how others treat them, which often leads to very real discrimination. And what fuels that stigma? It's something called ableism. This is the underlying belief system, this widespread, often unconscious societal preference for so-called abled bodies that creates all those social barriers and justifies discrimination. All right, next up, let's apply this same framework to stratification based on gender. The foundational concept you need to understand gender inequality is patriarchy. And pay close attention to that definition. It's a social system. It's a structure where men tend to hold the primary power and dominate the key areas of society. This is a crucial, super examinable term. So the historical pushback against patriarchy is often broken down into 4 waves of feminism, each wave kind of built on the last one. The first wave was all about legal rights, like voting. The second wave broadened the fight to things like workplace equality and reproductive rights. The third wave brought in the super important idea of intersectionality, embracing diverse identities. And now the 4th wave is using digital tools to fight things like sexual harassment. Now, to really lock in all this knowledge, you can find the full summary and a bunch of practice tests that are designed to help you crush your exam over at gradeguru.nl. Okay, let's finish this off with a lightning-fast recap of the absolute key takeaways for your exam. Just remember these 4 points. 1. Stratification is a societal system. 2. Functionalists say it's necessary. Conflict theorists say it's all about power. 3. The social model of disability blames society's barriers, not the person. And 4. Patriarchy is that system of male dominance that has been challenged by the waves of feminism. Master those concepts, and you are going to be in great shape for this section of your exam.